So the last time I did this, actually didn't feel too bad. The Columbia River in November. And if you're sitting here for a while, little fishies start to gather around you. But, uh, so I was thinking this morning, I don't know how well you guys can hear me. I have to stay out far enough in the water to stay submerged, but there's a lot of traffic in the background. And then you wonder how long your sensations continue to last, right? Because water is definitely colder than it was about 4 weeks ago. I did this like 4 weeks ago, and the Columbia is definitely significantly cold. It's kind of the same thing as taking an ice bath. So I was thinking this morning about being a kid again. Let me know what you guys think about what it's like to just feel like you're a kid again. I remember what it was like when I was very little, and it was pretty painful, right? It depends what atmosphere you're growing up in, but usually you can feel where other people are at and, how locked into whatever state they're in. Our inner childs never get to go play, right? Because, if people are trying to draw energy from you or if they're just ignoring you, then it's kind of, you know, an unhappy state of being. And so you try and deal with it in certain ways, and everybody deals with things differently. But yeah. So I think I'm going to sit here for a while, as long as it doesn't keep raining, because it's been raining, and I don't want that to negatively affect my laptop. My laptop is sitting on the shore there. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Happy November 1st. I can see my microphone settings, and it seems to be increasing. Oh. What else can I talk about? I don't know. Maybe I'll just fast forward this last part until I get to the reading part. Say I'm going to do a reading today. Um, for me personally, and I'll share this with you guys, and I don't know where you guys are at. Everybody has a different journey. But for a long time, I was blind to my emotions because I uh, just turned them off because there were so many negative emotions in my environment that I just didn't want to, I didn't want to listen to it. It was, and so you get to where you're so objective with your own emotions that you get to where you just don't care about anything, right? And it's just a terrible place to be. So, for that reason, I didn't have any relationships growing up, no intimate relationships. So, I had one in my 20s, and then I didn't have another one for about, 7 or 8 years. And, I was married for about 5 years, but I still was so closed off. I ended up marrying somebody that was the same way, right? Which is totally unhealthy. Because if you can't express yourself to the people you care about, then eventually those relationships will flounder and fail. And so, understanding where you're at and how to make small adjustments over time in order to open yourself up to other people and understand that everyone's going through something different. So, you know, it's okay. You have to, unless you can get to a place where you can forgive yourself, keep moving forward, then you'll stay stuck somewhere. So, you know, even as I do readings, always think of it this way. You know, everybody's going through something. And so don't ever, if you're ever trying to feed off of somebody and attack them and just by thinking negatively about them. They're going through their own thing. The only thing you have to do is set boundaries to protect your own energy and just keep moving forward. Put yourself out there. You know, even if you get rejected most of the time, you'll get over it, right? You're better than that. Just go sit in the lake. Go sit in a river in November. I mean, this is as good a time as any, right? We used to have a house on. Okay, so I guess I could do a river story, right? So we used to live on the Yakima River, and as kids, I'd go down there. I'd swim down there year round. I wouldn't swim as much in the wintertime, obviously, especially when there's ice floating on top. But we did swim a couple times down there when there was ice floating on top. We were dumb kids. Anyway, we built this tree fort. This was in my early teens. We built a tree fort, up in this big maple tree, and then built cables across the river. And after we'd finished it, one of the neighbor kids went down there and he climbed up on top of this thing. And this is down lower Yakima River in Washington State. And the Yakima River flows through a bunch of irrigation lands and cattle lands in the Yakima Basin. And every once in a while, animals drowned in the river and float down the river. Well, Charles Mann, if you're watching this, I'd love to hear your view on this story, because I don't know, I wasn't there. I came down afterwards, but climbed up to the top of the fort and jumped off and jumped right through an animal carcass floating down the river. And it's just like, totally disgusting, right? I mean, if an animal carcass has been in the river for long enough, it's in a pretty poor state. If it decomposes, it'll get caught in the side for a while, and it's decomposing, and it's brittle enough where you can fall right through it. We had later, a couple years later, we had a cow die on the lower end of our property, and then our dogs got into it. That's the only reason we even knew it was there, because it was in bad shape. So, what a nice river story, right? When I'm sitting in the river and all this stuff's floating by, all of it looks organic. It doesn't look like any garbage or anything. But the river's definitely going up, and there is stuff in it. So, I think I'm going to get out. I don't know how long it's been. How long is this video? Anyway. Till next time, right? So, I figured I'd make another video to attach on to my little swimming video. And I thought it was interesting. I rewatched that video, and I kind of wanted to add, especially about how our inner childs are blocked, right? And the reason why they're blocked. And it's actually has to do with the bigger picture. I take in a lot of information, and this is like a reading that for all of you out there, because I know it's every single person on this planet is dealing with this right now. And so this is a collective reading, you could say. I don't need to draw cards for this. I already know what's going on there. So everybody is, even if you're super well off, feel like you're living your dream life, to a certain extent, still in some kind of delusion if you're not, because we see the news, we see what's going on. There's always something going on in the world where people are going through something and people are attacking each other, and you can't get involved with other people attacking each other. But there's a large percentage of the collective that are empaths that didn't just go after money, that are more interested in serving one another, because healers, you're not going to find any billionaire healers out there, right? It just doesn't exist. A healer is
interested in the community. And so the healers are going to start taking over this planet. The healers are getting ready to heal everything. And that's what we're getting ready to go through. When you look at it from the highest perspective, don't ever feel like, whatever you're going through is going to take forever or it's the end of the road. Even if it feels like you're in the Ten of Swords, it's okay. You know, just take some time to take care of yourself, reflect. And all of us are in this process of being able to detach from the boundaries that we need to set to make sure people aren't pulling off our energy. If people attack you spiritually, or if they're energetically trying to pull from you, it's that process of being able to still love those people because they're going through their own thing, right? They're a part of us, me, whether they realize it or not. And more than likely they don't realize it because they're trying to draw energy off you, right? Um, and so when people are feeling imbalanced that way, it's really hard to especially just work on your own thing. The one number one challenge you'll always have is conquering your own mind and making sure that you're not energetically feeding into something that's trying to pull off of you. Because setting a boundary is one thing, you know, when it comes to the physical reality. But setting an energetic boundary in your mind where you're not constantly thinking of somebody or constantly stewing over something or just something else entirely. You have to be able to get to a place where you are at rest and at peace. And so I loved, making these pictures of these trees here. Um, this was my daughter. I took her up to the giant cedars about 6 weeks ago, and the fall is beautiful up there because everything turns, all the ferns turn. I thought about making a video because I took quite a few videos that were on my phone. I was thinking about creating just kind of a small composite video of our trip there, and I might do that after this. I don't know. I was going to work on my other project, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Be a good thing to do tomorrow. Because this is a general energy reading for you guys and me. All of us have to learn to conquer your own mind. Now, if you're in a place where you feel like life's great, it's good, we're still not co-creating this reality as a whole yet. And so until we're doing that, then the rest of it could impact what you're doing now to some extent. For example, let's say you're a YouTube reader and you get all your income through, let's say, YouTube. Well, turn of events could cause things to happen where people just aren't watching YouTube anymore, and people don't have the money to donate like they used to. YouTube stops giving money to um, certain programs for certain types of viewing. You name it, right? As soon as the beast starts to get threatened, things are going to change pretty dramatically in this world. And so I really like you guys to understand that what's going to help you more than anything is being able to conquer your own mind, making sure that things aren't energetically feeding off of you in your own mind. And in that way, you'll see what type of boundaries you need to set in your life, and it will enable you to help the people around you, because you're not obsessing over how they're trying, what they're going through. You can't carry anybody else's burdens. All you can do is conquer your own mind. And teaching people how to conquer their own mind is so much more important so that you can create the reality that you want to create. Because every thought you have out there is impacting this unified field intelligence. And if you're constantly in a negative mindset, it's going to affect your health and it's going to affect the people around you because they're going to want to spend less time with you, right? Because you're drawing energy from them unconsciously. You're probably in an unconscious state. So, and all of us just want to let our inner child out, co-create what we want to create here together, right? And sit by this tree. This is an awesome tree. Love you guys. Have a great day. And maybe I'll make that video for tomorrow. I'll think about that. Later.